So HBO just dropped the trailer for The Last of Us Season 2, and we're going to break down what we saw in the trailer and give some of our reactions to it. Apparently the season is going to be 7 episodes long and it'll drop in the first half of 2025. The Last of Us holds a special place in our hearts since the first videos we made on this channel were about that show. So if you haven't yet, go check out our Season 1 breakdowns on our channel. I got the link in the description. Before we dive into the trailer, let's quickly recap on where we left off in Season 1. Joel went on a rampage and killed the Fireflies out in Salt Lake City, who were led by Marlene. If you remember, they wanted to use Ellie's DNA to find a cure for the cordyceps infection, but it would have resulted in Ellie dying. Joel said fuck no to that shit and murdered everyone. He saved Ellie, and now they're driving back towards Wyoming where his brother is at. And even though he lied to Ellie about what happened, she's obviously a smart girl and she knows that Joel did some bad shit to get her out of there. So with all that being said, let's break down this trailer. Per usual, we see a bunch of new landscapes, new set pieces, which is always cool to explore in this world. Damon, tell me what the hell we're looking at.
We see a bunch of scenes take place in Jackson, Wyoming, with Tommy and Maria returning to the focus. We might have a little adventure into Washington and the other Northwest as well. We're looking at a 5-year time jump between when Joel killed the Fireflies and when this picks up. There's been a suspiciously long period of peace before things are set in motion, where Joel and Ellie are living a peaceful enough life together. See, check the mailbox. Also, it looks like Joel or Tommy is into Nirvana, which just feels right for them. So the gist of what's going on is that there's almost this World War Z horde of infected that we see moving across the frozen plains. You see clickers have proliferated a bit, and the world is most likely no closer to an antidote because Joel went all John Wick on the research base. From the Pearl Jam backing track to the therapy session hinting that Joel hasn't been totally upfront about his issues, we can tell there's going to be a focus on Joel and Ellie's fragmented relationship, considering how last season ended in a bit of an ultimatum that went down.
Swear to me that everything you said about the Fireflies is true.
There is no way that Joel's finale performance doesn't come back to create some issues, and we get a hint that not everybody is cool with what went down. We're going to see some faction groups like the one who displayed the painted markings. This gives off Firefly vibes, but much more eerie given the fact that it might be written in blood, plus that message is just insanely off-putting. There's been a guy being tortured or maybe held captive by Jeffrey Wright's character, which means we're probably going to get some warfare between these crews. For an overall vibe, this is going to be just as dark and probably more emotional than last season just due to those tears. You know Joel's not a man who sheds those too easily. I do worry about the shorter season though because HBO has been hooked on cutting down total episodes for a minute now. Just hope we get enough time for a satisfying arc, especially since we're going to be splitting time with Abby's crew, but we're going to get more into that later on. And last season the side stories almost stole the show, so they are pretty integral.
That's good stuff right there on that breakdown, Damon. Let's move on to some of the new characters that we see next. Look, man, maybe I'm biased, but hey, hold up. Who is this jacked Asian dude? Represent. Talk to me, Damon.
That would be Young Mazzino playing Jesse, and Young has got credits for a ton of TV shows, including Blue Bloods and New Amsterdam, but I know him best for being the fantastic but also very dumb younger brother in Beef. Dina is a new character being played by Isabella Merced, fresh off of her Alien Romulus run. This is going to be Ellie's eventual love interest. Then we have Abby played by Caitlin Dever, an up-and-coming actor playing a character that is in mourning. Anybody who's played the game or spent too much time on Last of Us Twitter and Reddit knows exactly who this is. There's a therapist-type character played by Catherine O'Hara who has made a pretty big resurgence ever since Schitt's Creek, though I'll always remember her as Kevin McAllister's mom. She's the one Joel was venting to. Hopefully rates have come down since the outbreak happened because I could see a guy with Joel's baggage dropping a few bands on just unpacking previous trauma, let alone working through it. Jeffrey Wright's character is a warlord named Isaac, who he also voiced in the video game, which is pretty sick. Based on how we saw him in the trailer, he's in the midst of whatever turf war this is. I'm hyped.
Good stuff, man. Excited to see these new characters and how they interact with the characters that we already know. Either way, we'll be doing breakdowns when Season 2 drops, so stay tuned. If you appreciated the video, shoot us a like and subscribe. We'll catch y'all later.